Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm back with part three of the story. So I'll give a quick synopsis. If you are new to the channel, basically started my videos on this channel. I'm coming from another channel and then starting something new, reintroducing myself because I started with a mental health podcast, but it didn't work out. So I'm starting something new. I know has like a little bit of a negative connotation. Not everybody really likes it and stuff like that. So, but I use a lot of the AI tools to create images that I like, and especially with this goddess theory that I'm in love with. It's my new passion. Has something. It entails your higher self, higher value. Valuing the most high. That's just a practice for myself. So I just wanted to bring forth. Maybe there's people that would be interested. I don't want to say anything negative, but a struggling YouTuber, and I'm a late bloomer in my life. So um, let's start with that. So if anybody can relate, or um, I'm basically going to be doing a lot of content on personal life situations, storytelling, giving testimony to why I am so adamant on praising the Most High, the things that I've been through, my traumas, my griefs, my loss, things like that. Just life as a whole has always been my source. To have the Most High and to feel that there is some being, whether if it's a man, woman, cat, dog, I don't know, but however I feel the presence, and that's the only way I can explain to it, and the miraculous things that I've been through, because I have been in near death experiences. I've been through things that most people would have been like, whoa. So this gonna be going through the things, also just experiencing rape and molestation and rape. I said grape. Why did I say that again? Anyhow, um, domestic violence and terrible situations with blood relatives and things like that, and why I became an introvert, um, and just trying to navigate life. So my recent topic was talking about my daughter. The simple fact that started, she chose the nightlife as a solicitor, an ex worker. So, um, in the midst of that, I was going through the channels where I'm in this bad guy villain era, where I'm so open and transparent, and um, some people don't like when you're open book, or some people don't like that you're a loner, or that you're confident within yourself and that you don't really care about what people think, or people say like the backlash, or if you tell too much, people use it against you. At this point in my life, not to say that I'm desperate or I'm coming to the internet to gain fame or what have you, but I am basically here also to help. Maybe there's somebody there out there, not there, but out there, that probably can relate to my situation, probably would feel a little bit better to know that they're not alone in this world with situations with dealing, being a parent or single parent, or a mom with a daughter that has issues growing up, especially with the social media age that we live in, where they're very influenced by certain things that they see, and they're always wanting and needing and all these things that that's just in their mind, but when they see it, this is what they want to attain, and that's their main goal. And so my daughter just wanted a lot of things that I couldn't provide, so I guess she figured that she would be going to solicit herself, to gain material possession. So, with that being said, kind of like to speed up the new people, or anybody that's new to the channel, or just watching the video by random. First, I also want to say, not first because I'm already iterating, but I just wanted to say, that thank you for the views, whether if it's 1 view, 2 views, 5 views, 10 views, thank you. It's still a view. So I just want to give gratitude for that, because you took your time. Everybody has precious time in their life. Nothing's to be taken for granted. So I like to be thankful for the simple things in life, because you don't have to watch, So I'm happy for that, and I also am happy I got 3 more follow subscribers, so that was great. Because I was so happy about the 111, and I was like, oh, that's an angel number and things like that. So I was excited about that. So anyhow, um, so getting to part three, basically is just gonna be, because I don't want to do too long. I try to be a little bit condensed in my words, because I am long-winded. Excuse me, guys. There's something that's flew in my eye. And so I just really want to express that these stories are real. They're not fiction. They're based on true events. It's my word for now, but these are things that have happened, and I do have proof. So, I mean, if I was subpoenaed or what have you, this is not fabricated at all, scripted. This is my real life. And I guess this would be Goddess Naklaban's Chronicles, with visuals, AI visuals, things pretty beautiful images of women empowerment. I don't have a problem with the males. I just now centered on this type of energy. But if there is God bodies that appreciate beautiful images of Black women, and that the hierarchy, the the value, the high value woman, um, the woman that seeks her higher self, the woman that seeks the Most High, um, that showcases that she has faith. Um, she does pray. She does have high morals and values. I said value before, but self worth. Um, that doesn't have a problem with women expressing self love, and just encouraging, because I know a lot of times people like to say that I'm for women and this that the case, but that's not the case, because when in real life you see them, they probably won't even look your way. They turn their nose up at you. They have, it's I could go on and on. But I'm not going to go ahead on that negative connotation, but I just wanted to say that really this is something truly to my heart. I've, I've, I'm a humanitarian by spirit, so this is not a fugazi theatric drama type thing. So I am going to be sporadic in moods, because I do have a lot of things that I do truly feel deeply on. I'm very passionate about life. Some people don't like that, because when you're emotional, or you're always asking if they're okay. Just I'm always concerned about things that people probably would rather for me not to be concerned. But I just can't help that I'm an empathetic person, or I can pick up on energy. I know when you're sad if I know you or meet you, or even strangers. I could tell when somebody is melancholy. I could, So I just feel that this is perfect for me. The fact that I'm a chatterbox and I'm long winded, and I just always feel the need to be in the know, learning and growing and things like that. But people like to call me you think you know it all. It's not the fact that I think I know it all. I just want to share information that I learn, and some people don't appreciate that, and then maybe I'm unlikable. But at that point, that's not what I'm here for. So I know I'm just focusing on what I like to do, and that's relating to people on real topics, real life situations, and things of that nature. I just know that I don't know where it's going. I don't know how far I'm going, but I'm just knowing I'm going to show up every day. I was supposed to do my story yesterday, but I am going through a lot of things mentally, so I'm just getting my spiritual hygiene up and trying to show up like I know what I'm talking about. No, well, just have conviction within myself, and I'm just not blabbering, or I'm just not here to, well, I'm just not here for just gaining views, or I want to have a real relatable community. So I might be a little slow motion. I might not be as consistent, but I am gonna try to do this as much as I can. Show up as time go along and what my spirit leads me. So I've been on this brink for about 8 years. I want to say I've been procrastinating, um, probably self sabotaging and things like that because I just kept saying like you know what do you have to give, what do you have to say, but I just know I have something there, so I had to start from scratch to really figure out what's my niche, what's my passion, and things of that nature. But I knew I loved the fact that putting a black woman on a pedestal was my big thing. Was just the fact that because I feel like we're so there's always some negative underhand backhand compliment, or there's always some kind of undertone when people speak of some black women, and it's always something about us being over sexualized, and it's like we never could get a break, or there's always something about our hair, there's always something about our nails, there's always something about how we look and all these things. So it's just aggravating to me, and so I just wanted to do something that maybe some people would be like, oh, you ain't no queen, you ain't no goddess, you ain't no empress, who you think you is, all this kind of stuff. But I feel like once you put out an image and you start, um, you plant the seed, right? And then and I feel like the plant is going to grow, and I feel like it starts to catch on. I do see a lot of pages with the goddess energy, the glow goddess, and all this stuff. But the grace, gratitude, and glow. I'm not sure if that's a thing, but I'm gonna look to see. But it's not like I'm trying to copy off of somebody or have imposter syndrome. I just really like it. I just really like all the things that is beautiful for the black woman. So I never wanted to stray away from like not having inclusion or anything, because I do love other people, other races. I do admire other cultures, but it was just that I was adamant on this particular, the fact that I'm a mom of 3 daughters, and the fact that femininity is something that it's beautiful, it's sacred, and so I just wanted to be on that tip. Um, so getting back to the story with my daughter, so basically, Serenity, from the last story that I said, and I said her name, which I shouldn't have, but it's okay. Um, my daughter just got to the point where she feels like she knows everything. She has no respect for adults at this point. She thinks whatever she does, this doesn't have any consequences. She doesn't really care because she just knows what she knows, and that's it. And so when you get in that stage of adolescence, or when you're going through your teenage and your puberty, and you're becoming a young woman, and you have your, I like to say, the woman's anatomy, when we're having our cycle, things like that, what have you. She just feels that she has like some kind of intel secrets or to the universe, and she knows what she needs to do. But I just feel like she does not know, because any female that, because I know it's just different circumstances, so I don't want to say this wrong and then for people to feel judged. But I know sometimes people have to do what they have to do, and you can do what you want to do because it's your life, that's your business. But I just feel like she took it to the point where she thinks she can handle it. Now, when you're an ex-worker, you do get spirits on your body. You do get things that come with this. You don't know what this gentleman or whoever you're dealing with, what vices they have, what's on them, what's going to transfer to you. That's why I feel like extra energy is something that is a beautiful exchange. It's very sacred. It's not to be taken lightly. I've made my mistakes and I've regretted it. I've said to myself sometimes, like, oh my God, I can't believe the things I did. But I learned from my lessons, and I just transform that energy into something positive, and I just say, okay, that's a life learned lesson. So getting back to her, she's been in at least I want to say 12 facilities here in Nevada, and she blames me, saying that I let her go to these places. But I let her go to these places not only sometimes was my initial decision, a lot of times it was mandated because she was on parole. And well, she went from probation to parole, and then the judges was making these decisions and thinking that this will help her instead of giving her jail time. They put her in a facility to give her rehab and help her with her mental health issues. So at this particular time, I noticed that she started to have a little bit more animosity. The fact that I sent her to New York, and then the simple fact that um, I assigned her to these facilities. Now, mind you, I'm still learning. I don't know a lot about mental health, diagnosis, prognosis, things of that nature with her illness, and I'm learning every day about different things, um, different disorders and things like that. So that's why I wanted to do the mental health podcast, because I was teaching myself with the informative information, educating myself, and then sharing the information that I would learn, and then also turn it into a personal life situation. Not turn it into, but relate to a personal life situation, right? So it could kind of be more relatable to the viewer, right? So anyhow, what I noticed that when she would come out, well, while during in the treatment, we will have conversations where she says that she realized or take accountability for the things that she does, and she's like, "Mom, I know I did XYZ, and I'm gonna try to do ABCD when I come home, and this that." So it was always like she will always tell me she's gonna do better. Then she comes home, it goes right back. And then it gets worse. And she just comes out more worse. And then also, too, the people that work in these facilities, a lot of times, sometimes I want to know if they're getting background checks on these people. These people have personal life situations. They're bringing it to work. They're working with adolescents and treating them like adults. So, excuse me. I don't know if any other parents ever had any experiences here in Nevada or anywhere else that they had a child that went into a facility, and it just seems like the treatments just got worse, and it just did more of a disservice than act as a solution to your problem to help the child. Every time she came home, there was a safety plan um, and implemented for her to do what she had to do, was either with if it was continuing education, if it was for her to finish her GED, just things of that nature, because she's always not what I want to say, academically the girl is good. Her progress, she's smart. um I'm amazed at how sometimes she can uh, her verbiage is eloquent. She can write. This young lady is amazing. And sometimes I get shocked at her abilities to um, write, explain herself, communicate to adults. She's very relatable for her young age, which is I'm very proud of that. But when they're good at manipulating, um, she's very good at conning, if I want to say, if that's a good word to use. Um, what they said, there's a saying that she could sell water to some. I don't know, but I can't really explain what I'm. It's just not coming to my mind. But if you understand what I'm saying, like, she's very good at what she does, so she makes things very believable. And there's times where people automatically judge me. So if a situation happens and Serenity wants to talk to an adult, so a lot of these people I've noticed, these people that work for these government agencies, like that deal with family services, I noticed that they try to say that, "Oh, I understand, Mom, that you're going through this. I understand, Mom, that how you feel, this, that, whatever." But but secretly, because they're mandated reporters, so you can say something and they'll use it against you. So like the last uh, video I uploaded, which was part two, and I said that I said the word monster, and then I said that, oh girl, I would kill you because I was just so frustrated. So those two words have have defamed my character because of the situation at hand. So they think that I'm the initial problem to why this child is behaving the way she has behaving, the way she is behaving. So I've even had people that strangers or like co-workers, you just having a fair exchange of conversation. And I even had one young lady was like, oh, maybe his shoe. And I'm looking like, girl, you know nothing about me. And then when people say that, this is why I don't like people. And it's not like I don't like people to deal with people on a sociable level, because I have manners, I have courtesy, I'm very mindful. It's just the fact that I won't have friends. I don't want friends, because friends to me always come with something. I don't feel like there's people for my situation. I don't know about anybody else, because I know some people like friends, but I just never had good experiences with having any kind of girlfriends, going to hang out. It's always something that end up happening where I'm either somebody that's warning somebody about somebody being two-faced, and they think I'm the meddler or the troublemaker because I'm the siren. I'm like ringing the alarm to let people know, like, okay, she not this, that, whatever. But when they find out, and if they don't or whatever, I'm always the bad guy. So I'm just going, I guess that's just my thing. I can't help it. People just gonna always think I'm the bad guy, I'm the villain, they don't like me. Um, I just always bring out the worst in somebody or the best in somebody or whatever. But however, I've come to accept it. I'm not complaining, so don't get me wrong. I just know that, um, whatever it is, I just know that I have to start from somewhere to get to where I want to be. And because I have goals and dreams and I still want to attain, and the fact that I'm a late bloomer, I sometimes I feel like I don't have enough time, but I just try to slow myself down and think thoroughly, and really think about what is it that you want to share with the world? What is it that you want to do that will make a difference? So that's what I'm concerned about. I'm not concerned about my business being out there. I'm not concerned about what you think of me. I'm not concerned about um, being judged, because, like I said, my main concern is getting to the Most High. That's my main concern. My main concern is being close in that relationship, because there's nothing else bringing me peace besides me just thinking of this beautiful being, this beautiful creator, that's navigating or giving us self-conscious or subconscious things in our mind to go forward. As people say, the voice, or I heard God said. So I was led here. Like I said, I've been trying to come and do this for 8 years, coming back and forth to social media, making different accounts. I started on TikTok. And then I end up disabling those accounts, and then I went to Instagram. I end up disabling those accounts. So I just keep on coming, and then I just feel like I get discouraged. But then also, I know there's black magic on me as well. I've had to do a lot of spiritual baths to get to this point, to even be in front of the camera talking to you guys, because I have a lot of stories about that as well. But like I was saying, is you see how I could drift. And so I'm still trying to learn that about myself as well, because I'm always everywhere. And so just trying to gain one train of thought. So like I said, I even went to see if there was something wrong with myself, and when I got evaluated, I was discharged, because the therapist did tell me that a lot of times people that have disorders don't always know how to analyze or break down where they feel the situation is stemming from. Usually, the therapist helps the patient to find ways to cope. So, if I'm explaining how my situation is or telling them the things that I'm feeling, and I'm giving my own synopsis, like Okay, say for instance, a doctor give you a diagnosis and you're coming up with your own treatment. So that's like you don't need. I didn't need to get medical evaluation, or I didn't need to get medication or anything. And then I've met a lot of weird caseworkers that want to tell you things about their personal life, but condemning you. And it's like, I don't think that's professional. I don't think you should be telling me that, oh, I look like a red wine drinker, or that they're on, somebody had told me they were on Lex Pro or some whatever. And I just was like, TMI. And I know I talk a lot, but there's certain things I don't discuss. And I feel like when you're being professional and you're coming into someone's home and you're telling them about parenting and all these kinds of stuff, I just feel like some of these people need to be evaluated too. They need to get more background checks, because they're coming in your home and they're telling you things and you're just like, what are you really talking about? And some of them not even parents, so they don't even know what it is to have a child or to deal with life struggles and things that's happening on a regular basis, trying to keep your head above water, making sure you have finances, making sure you have your rent, making sure you have money to pay your bills. All these things entail that you have to try to build a foundation, and then try not to get caught up in the stress, because you can't control things you can't change. It's like you can't do, it's certain things that you just don't have a handle on. And these people come in your life and try to tell you, and I'm just like, I wish I could turn a little birdie and then go and see how they navigating through life. I'm pretty sure it ain't that smooth. But people like to tell you things or try to talk at you instead of trying to talk with you or talk along with you. So a lot of the times I just feel like these people come and they don't give you a chance. They just automatically come, they read the report, they assess, and they just go from there. And I feel like that's so unfair. So I know people have to do their job, so I don't blame them. So I'm like, okay, you just here, you're doing your job, so I don't blame you. But I get so flippin' frustrated with the aggravation of somebody coming into your home and trying to evaluate. And so, like, I had one of her probation officers look me up to find my background, to say, oh, you've been here, there, and you don't have stability. Not knowing that I'm running from somebody because I'm going through a domestic violence situation. So I left the state in a sporadic moment because I'm scared for my life. You don't know what people's going through. So you feel like because I'm not stable, or I'm looking for more bang for my buck, and I'm traveling different places to figure out like what I'm going to do for myself and my family, so we can have a good life, or some, my goodness, I'm getting a tired tongue, to find a comfortable life, to find stability where you can find a way to survive without struggling or needing assistance from the government and things like that nature. So when that lady was looking me up and then she wanted to tell me about myself, man, let me tell you something. The intrusiveness of some people when they want to tell you that you're doing something wrong, and they don't know you from a can of paint, those are dangerous people that feel the need to ridicule or um, tell you how to live your life when they don't even know what they're doing. And so this is where I started the videos, because I'm like, I know this is just not me going through this. I'm pretty sure. And I've read stories, I've heard stories where people remove people's children, or not helping the child, or the child is getting more abused than they was before. When these people intervene, I just want to know how they do their cases, and what is important, what's not important. Because at this point, I just feel like a lot of these people just be guessing and going along with it, faking it till they make it. Because there's no way that you think that you're coming into someone's home and then you assess something for one particular situation and feel like you know everything that's been going on, because it doesn't just start from one situation. These things happen on a like a repetitive cycle. It's like a loop. So they don't even know that this is behaviors learned from them seeing family members, or the fact that I'm leaving my hometown. Maybe there's a reason, it's a toxic situation. You don't know why people leave or do things or why they live their life, but it's just always under a microscope, and people always just sitting there evaluating you, what's going on, what's happening. Mind your business. That's number one. Number two, try to, because I know there's situations where people lie, and then the person is like, okay, it doesn't seem like there's no problem, and then there is a problem. But what's pissing me off is like, when I'm over here trying to help the child, I could see if I was letting her run amok, be a fool, not go to school, not try to help her finish her education, not try to get this child to get her mental right. So I'm the bad guy to my daughter, because I put her in these facilities. I have all these people in my business telling me what I need to do. This child does not want to go to therapy. This child does not want to take medication. She does not want the outpatient services. What is a parent supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? So I just got to the point where I'm like, listen, I'm just going to talk about this topic. Maybe I can get a little bit more of release on my mental space, and figure out how to navigate this, how to help this child, how to figure out. I don't have any background on that, just besides me having psychosocial as an elective for a course in college, and reading things that I see or hearing things online. I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. The smoke or something flew in my throat. Excuse. So I just figured, like, how am I gonna help this child? So it was an epic fail, because all the facilities she went in, she experienced more abuse, or either was with a orderly, a medical assistant, a nurse, a counselor, or chaperones, or whoever that works in these facilities that help these children. So it got to the point where I was letting people think for me in a way, because I wasn't really sure what was happening, to be honest. I don't know, or how to think, like, if this was really happening, if this was really healthy for her. Was it helping her development? Was it making her hate me more? Was it making her feel like this was the end of her life? Like, there was so many things. So I just felt guilt, shame, embarrassment. Then when you call blood relatives and they're telling you that, oh, you're dumb, you should throw her out, you should not deal with that. And this is me speaking of the woman that raised me, my mom, because she dealt with me in that manner. She put me out. So that was my thing. So it clicked in my head, put her out. You know what I'm saying? So that is where I was saying I have to break these cycles, this generational curse, because what I'm noticing, and I don't care who gets mad at me, as far as if it's any family members, blood relatives that's watching or ever see this video, is that I've noticed a pattern. All the first born children of my aunts was thrown out the house at the age of 14 and 15. We all experienced the same thing. I don't know if we're around the same age, but I noticed that my oldest aunt put her boys out. They were adolescents. They were 15 around that time. My second oldest aunt, she worked with her kids. She had a different aspect. She followed a lot of African culture. All my cousins' names was African names. So I feel like she had a little bit more of an upper hand when it came to her family structure because she started following a lot of the African heritage folklore. Um, and so I feel like my cousins with my second aunt, my second oldest aunt, which is my grandma's third, second baby girl, because my grandma had 8 children. So when I'm thinking about it, I want to say my 4 aunts. I'm not sure about the men, but I know that all the women put their firstborn out at 14, 15 to like face the world, right? And then I said, something's gotta be wrong. So I've been like on this investigation to find out like what's going on. Like, were we cursed? Then I noticed like most of the females are not married. They have children, but they're not married. They all had children out of wedlock, as they say. Right? So then also I noticed alcohol is also a problem in my family. That's another generational curse. Alcohol is a thing, like it's a vice that is like in the DNA. Most of us have problems. Oh shoot, sorry guys. I didn't even know my lip was, excuse me, that's very disgusting. Sorry guys, sorry, that was nasty. But because I have chapstick on my lips. That's crazy. I just looked over. I said, "Let me look," and I hate that. I hate when to see stuff on people's lip, and oh my god, sorry guys. Ugh, no way. Sorry. That is these. I hate that, and I should have known better. I should have brought some water. But anyway, 37 minutes in, so I know this is a little lengthy one, longer than the other ones I've had, but I think I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap it up there and then come back with part 4. But basically, as you see what I was saying, like I'm trying to figure out as time go along, and then hopefully I gain an audience that can relate, and then do Q&A, and then we can go back and forth with comments to kind of relate, um, because I kind of exhausted all my options as far as like trying to relate, because I spoke to a lot of professionals and I just feel like they're just going by textbook, what they learn. They're going through their modules and courses when they're speaking to people and they're trying to analyze things or help you figure out. There's some people that's very good at what they do, but there's some people that I just feel like they're just winging it and they're not really helping the solutions. They're not really navigating or giving you things to help with the families. And I feel like they just function. No, they thrive off of dysfunctional families. And I feel like everything is orchestrated. I could be a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like at this point, I feel like a lot of things are done to for monetary value. I feel like even when it comes to love and people not wanting love and all this kind of stuff, and then they came up with dating sites. I feel like when the drug epidemic came through, epidemic. I feel like all these rehabs and all these things. Like I feel like everything is orchestrated so they can gain. It's capital and gain. This whole place is capital and gain. Um, and I feel like when you wake up and you find out things and you start to see and you fall down that rabbit hole, you start looking at life a different way. And that's why sometimes I unplug from the matrix, and maybe I am gonna be last, or it might take me a while to build to get to a certain plateau to start streaming income, because my topics or probably things that make people feel uncomfortable or they don't want to hear, but I'm here to talk about it because I feel like a lot of these things need to stop being uncomfortable, because it is our truth, and especially in our community with incest, molestation, rapes, ex workers, soliciting, young women starting, having actual intercourse at an early age, older men grooming them, things like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to disrespect no man either, because I wanted to be like, oh, she better and this, that, whatever, and that's why she want to talk about, oh, she's single and she don't want nobody, this, that, whatever. I'm never bitter. I love a beautiful black man, but I just don't have time for that right now. That's not my focus. My focus is on getting to relate and have build rapport with people so I can get to where I need to go, so I can start to help people. That's my whole initiative thing here. It's not, when I say I'm selfish in empowerment. I'm selfish in getting my life together. I'm selfish in helping black women feel more beautiful. I am focusing on gaining some type of uh what's the word? I'm trying to gain a community where I can start to bring forth organizations. I can bring my business to where somebody might want to invest and then help me get a facility or a place to help troubled young women, or help women that's been in domestic violence situations and feel like they keep returning to their abuser because they can't find ways to cope with themselves to get out of that mental slavery, that mental imprisonment, that they need to have somebody to complete their life. That's just my main focus. I'm not trying to put a damper on not having relationships, like don't be with a man, or don't be I'm not here to put anything negative in that aspect as far as romance, because I do like romance. I do still watch rom-coms. I still interact with reading stories and romance novels, things like that. Of course, I'm a female, but who doesn't want to be romanticized? But at this point in my life, I've just never found, or the times where, like I said, the 8 years I've been thinking about trying to come on this platform and trying to do something that makes sense. Because I don't want to just do something, follow trends. I don't just want to be here just to be here. I don't just want to be an eyesore on a screen. I really want to get to a place in my life where I can have motivational speaking. I know it's a negative connotation on this as well, telling people what you want to do or what you feel that you want to do. Because then people are going to send bad negative connotation. And I'm just at this point where I don't really care. If you're going to steal an idea, you're going to steal from me, you're going to take some of my poetry, or you're going to copy and paste, you're going to plagiarize. Ain't nothing I can do about that. So when people be saying stuff like, oh, people doing this, that, whatever, information is going to be out there. There's things that I follow. I read a statement on somebody's post. It made me feel a certain kind of way. It ignited something inside of me. It brought an idea. It gave me some kind of imagination, or it gave me some kind of motivating push to push me forward to do something. So I understand that. So I'm not here. I really, at this point, I don't care. What can we do? There's people stealing people's identities. There's people not being themselves. I know I'm going to be my authentic self. So you can't really keep up, because my brain is different from yours. So even if you think you're going to try to copy me, or even if you think you're going to be in competition with me, it ain't going to happen, Captain. It's just you just going to fall on a repetitive cycle, still trying to follow suit what other people's doing. Be yourself. It's better to be yourself. There's so many carbon copies out here, and it's sad. And I just be like, nobody wants to be authentic. Now, I don't have a problem. If I wasn't so bald headed, I would wear my hair out. I've had locks. I've had, my natural hair and then listening to blood relatives tell me, cut your locks, is ugly, is nasty, is unclean, listening to foolish people. Now I gotta deal with alopecia. And also, like I said, when you're not loving yourself, and I'm at this point where I do love myself. That's why I'm at this point where I don't care what I'm saying. I don't care about no, oh, you got to keep something personal. I do not care, because I know whatever I'm telling, it's going to help someone. And even if you want to laugh at me, I don't care. Because, I mean, I don't know you. You don't know me. You just know what I'm telling you. And then you're going to take from whatever you hear me telling you, or whatever you see me post, or what have you. So you're going to always have your own ideology. I can't change that. What I could do is that I would showcase my situation and my real life situation. Somebody hear it, somebody will feel it, somebody might change their aspect on life. I might help somebody feel better today. I might help somebody think about or navigate something in their life where they're like, oh wow, I never thought about that. So that's really what I'm here for. If I don't come off where you understand me or are misunderstood, then maybe this channel's not for you. If you feel that I'm too talkative, this channel ain't for you. If you feel that I'm showcasing too much of my personal business or talking about my daughter or whatever, then this channel not for you. My channel is for people that's real. My channel is for people that want to talk about things that matter in life. Because yeah, we could want to twerk, we could want to party all day, we could want to bust down weave, we could want nails, we could want to be all fly, we could want all that all day, right? But at the end of the day, you're going to deal with you. You're going to deal with real life, because that's where we are living, real life. And so I'm here for those people. I'm here for those people that maybe want to give me advice. Maybe they went through something. Maybe they're like, hey, you're probably going to have to just let your daughter be. Let her come back to you. When she gets older, she'll apologize. I've had my own situations with my mama. I called her and I said, Ma, thank you for all the things you did, because I never knew how hard it was to be a single mother. So those things like that, I know I did, because if I leave, or God forbid my mom leaves, I know I had those conversations with her. So I don't feel bad if we don't have a good relationship now and we're not speaking. I haven't spoke to her for a year. The last time I spoke to her was my birthday. My birthday came and it's gone. I still haven't spoke to her. So I want to say it's about a year and a couple months. But I rather that, because I know my mom doesn't like me. Now, where I'm gonna pause right there. I know I love my daughter. I love my daughter. I've disrespected people because of my daughter. I've made myself look like a fool because of my daughter. All for her. Advocating for her. So when she cursed me, that was a disrespect to me, to the point where I did shut her out. I might be wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have told her not to come back in. But she was gone for 3 days. Let me tell you, when the girl's gone, all types of things in my head I start thinking, oh Jesus, I hope I don't hear nothing bad. Oh God, I hope I don't hear that she killed herself. Oh God, I hope nobody don't call me and tell me my baby is on the Red Rock Mountain somewhere. Oh God, please don't let nobody dismember my baby. Oh God, I hope she don't get sex trafficked. All these things. So at the point where I said, this girl ain't gonna kill me. But anyway, like I said, going back to what I said with my mom, I don't speak to her because she does not like me. And when I say that, is because every time I hear she's talking about what I'm doing, what my children's doing, what my life is like, where I moved to, all these things that I try to keep personal to myself. So I figure, hey, why not get into the business of this disclosing of myself? Because there's no embarrassment when it comes from me. There's no embarrassment when I'm explaining myself. There's no embarrassment when I'm coming to the world. Because at the end of the day, if we stripped from all these material possessions, if we're stripped from all the things that we feel that we have to have, or to feel good within our spirit, or to show off, or to keep up with the Joneses. Why do I care about those things when at the end of the day, when I leave this earth, I'm not coming with you, you're not coming with me. I'm not leaving with the things that I'm showing off in front of you for. And I noticed that it's just a bad behavior that some of us in our community have. We feel better than when we have a pair of Jordans. We feel better than when we got Balenciaga or Mugler or Teflar or whatever these things are. And that's fine, because if you could afford it, kudos. I'm happy for you. Go ahead, show off, do your thing. But when I see people doing it and they can't even live, they're living beyond their means, that's when I know it's a problem. And I've been there. I've been trying to keep up, trying to show off, and oh, I got this, and oh, I got this, and I got me a lace front, blah, blah, blah. For who? For who? It's nice, but when you think about it, if you're stripped, and we was to really, like, I always like to use the Hunger Games. If we was to be stripped and really have, like, what have you ever thought about how you would survive? How you would navigate through life with all your material possessions, and then being in a safe bubble wearing your rose-colored glasses? Now, I know it might be harsh, but I had to learn that reality, because I was like, yo, what would I really have to offer if I didn't have boobs, a booty, like, and when my grandma told me this the best, because I know I'm rambling right now and I'm kind of struggling for words or whatever, but she did tell me, if you say, for instance, you come into the table, and like people always like to talk about this table, what you bring it to the table, I can't only say, oh, I'm gonna make you feel good every night because I got these nice boobs and I got this nice bum, and I'm gonna just make sure I'm gonna bend over as much as you want me to, or whatever. Like, it's a poor metaphor or example at this point, because I'm trying to close it up. But I want to say, and my grandma said, if you don't have nothing else to offer, you gotta get your education, edify your mind, because when gravity takes hold and all this stuff fall off, or not fall off, but when it starts to sag and all of that, what else do you have to offer? Because she said beauty is a faded flower, right? So we all gonna get old. We're all gonna get to the point where we might not be as attractive, or we might not be as the apple of the eye, as people like to say, because beauty is an eye that beholds her. But if you don't have nothing else to offer besides physical, then you're messed up in life, because you're going to always have to subject yourself to 3 or 4 activities. And I'm not trying to say that I'm better than nobody, but I'm just saying that when you look at the reality of life, all those things don't matter. So like, when I used to think about, oh, I need to have a fine man, and he needs to look this way, and he needs to have this. And when I watch dating stuff and people are so shallow about, oh, it's not the initial attraction, it's that you don't even know this person. You're just looking at the physical. That's why when I look at these stuff, that's why I don't care about the male gaze. I don't care how I look. When I go out, I like to look nice. That I'm not gonna lie, because I grew up that way. I used to get beat because if I went outside with a curl in my hair, or I went outside with a head tie or a scarf on my head, or God forbid, like, bonnets. And not to say anything with that, because if you want to wear a bonnet, wear your bonnet. I'm just saying that that's not me. I'm not going to go outside with no bonnet. You don't want to catch me outside with no scarf, unless it's a scarf to razzle dazzle my outfit, or to make me look extra ethereal, upper echelon when I'm going outside, because I like to look a certain way. So that is different because, first appearance, first impression, last impression, all those things matter. And I'm telling you, it does matter because when you dress a certain kind of way, people treat you differently. And that's a true thing. I'm not even going to front and act like, oh, you could just come as you are and who cares and all that. Nah, that's not a good thing. When you look good, people treat you good. That is the automatic. Okay? So when it comes to even teeth in your mouth, I look at all of that. If you have rotten teeth in your mouth, you don't love yourself because that rotten teeth is that cavity is going inside your mouth, it's starting to smell, and it's going to your brain. Okay, so air, nose, and mouth is very important. So if you feel like you could still walk around with rotten teeth in your mouth and you still feeling like you that shit, unless, excuse my language, because I don't want to say, unless you can't afford dental, I can understand. Do you around here with rotten teeth in your mouth and it's smelling and it's getting it's getting septic and it's causing abscess in your mouth? That's not healthy. It's not a good look, and I wouldn't want you. I make sure I got my teeth. I made sure I went and correct my teeth because I had periodontal disease from smoking, eating candy, all kinds of things. Had lost teeth, all of that. So I'm also talking about that. So I just want to come here and also help some of the youth. If I have youth on my channel, I want to tell y'all all the things and the mistakes I made so you could be better. You're going to make your mistakes too in life. That's just life. But I just also want people to know that when I come on here, I'm probably not going to always have it together. I'm probably not going to always sound eloquent. I'm probably going to stutter. I'm probably going to sound aloof. I'm probably going to sound a little bit weird at times and probably not going to understand me. But I know I was led to talk about these things, and I was led to know that it would help. And I've seen myself speaking to many people. So I'm going to continue. So you don't have to believe. I believe in me, and I believe in you. And I believe that you could do better. When you know better, you do better. And I'm on this platform not to ridicule, not to gossip, not to do any celebrity hype. Even if I do talk of a celebrity, that would be something that I feel maybe you inspired me or motivated me into higher learning. So I would use your name as a reference. But I'm really on here to talk about my life experiences, hoping that it does heal. I do want a relationship later on with my daughter. I really hope that we do get to that point. But for now, she got to know that ain't no disrespect happening here because I couldn't do it to my mama. I was put out at 14 years old in the winter with no coat. Alright? In Brooklyn. And it was after New Year's. So if anybody know, after New Year's, it's crazy cold. Like brick, like to the point where the air is blowing in your face and you're like, because that's how cold it is. Okay? Ski masks, 5 layers of clothes type cold. And my schoolmates at the time had to go help me go get my jacket because I was out in the streets with no coat, bro. And then a strange guy see me walking. I remember sleeping in an abandoned building, rats running over me. No lie, sleeping on a train, riding from Brooklyn to Harlem, just to get some sleep. You know what I mean? Going all the way to Bronx to Grand Concourse, sleeping on a train, just, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, if I'm going to still continue to go to school. So, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when parents do stuff, they don't always realize that, they kind of put in a big responsibility on you because, I dealt with a lot of older men at that time because nobody else, what was I going to do at 14? But anyway, I don't hate her for that. That was her way. She was trying her best. To raise me, learning from her mom. So I don't hold my parents accountable to say I'm pointing fingers. Because I know that video was kind of, might be kind of cringe. My second video where I'm like, oh, nobody likes me. My family members don't like me. My mom don't like me, whatever. But you know when people don't like you because they act a certain way. I could tell when I used to call her, she would be like, oh God, what was it now? You know, she probably got another story for me or whatever. So, and then, just dealing with parents as a whole. So I always try to do the opposite. But I realized my fault was, you know how you love people to their faults, and then you kind of like, you become passive because you don't want to hurt their feelings. You just want them to be themselves. You just want them to learn life without being such a stickler, without being such a disciplinary to the point where they shut off and they don't want to come to you. So I could say I made that mistake because I shouldn't be friends with my children. And that's what I messed up on. But now I realize as I get older, I tell them things that, okay, mommy said things, I might have used this word. That word was used, I heard that word. It was very normal in my upbringing. So I used it, and it's a repetitive cycle. So I'm trying to come here to showcase. Now people say you lose your power when you explain, and you should just go ahead. I don't live my life like that. I don't live my life like that because people need to understand or to get some kind of inclination on what's really happening. What are you planning to do? Are you just here just to talk foolishness? You're here to um, put something out in the universe. You're here to put good intentions. Good intentions. When you're coming out here doing things, you're doing it for good intentions. I always have my big face in the screen. So I'm sorry, guys, but I just try to figure out. My production is a little bit off, but oh my God, I went to an hour. Shucks. But if anybody watches this, and I just hope that you get the message. I'm sorry I kept you long. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this and just start with part 4, and hopefully I can get to my goddess quotes because that's what I've been trying to do. My goddess quote for the day. But I really want to get these things out so I can really get to back to business. So I just really want to let everybody get like a little bit of what Diane is here for. What is Diane doing? What is Diane talking about? What is Diane here for, and what is Diane's goal and achievement? And I'm going to end it there. And I just want to say thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I mean, like I said, for the views, little to no views, interacting, not interacting. Anyhow, I thank you so much. I appreciate it. To the Most High, I give gratitude, abundance to all, peace, love, and light. And I just hope you're feeling good because I know we're at a place where life is just throwing us all kind of curveballs, right? But we stand tall. We roll with the punches. We keep our head on a swivel. And we just keep going and moving forward and knowing that if you didn't do it today, hopefully there's tomorrow and you can start. So don't ever feel like you're running out of time. Me, it's slow motion, but I'm still pushing forward. It's steady, but it's going, baby. So that's it. And see you guys later on the next one. Much love. I just thank you. Thank you so much.